Well, we're going to be getting started momentarily, but wanted to welcome you to this evening's Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion Masterclass. And you are in for a treat. I just want you to know, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And while you're waiting, you can go ahead and get a heads up on everything. You can put in your name, the university that you're affiliated with, as well as your email.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can you hear that?
I'm sorry, Miss Brenda?
Could you hear that? Do you hear that that music?
No, ma'am. Can you
Okay.
increase the volume for us? We'd love to hear it. Thank you.
Well, I'm just going to be. What I wanted to just play while I'm talking about the Negro spiritual. It may not work.
Oh, I thought you were giving us some intro music.
No. No.
Because I was like, oh, Miss Brenda, I love it. Absolutely. Are you in the university choir, Joseph?
Yes, ma'am, I
Awesome. I just took a wild guess.
am.
So we have a few more participants joining us. Hello, Miss Dorsey. Welcome. So glad to have you back for week two.
Hello.
And while we're waiting, Ms. Dorsey, if you don't mind, please sign in again for us with your name, your affiliation, organization affiliation, as well as your email.
Where?
Thank you so much.
Where do I sign in?
You can sign in the chat. It may be near the bottom of your screen. And you should see, let's see, where would it be? It should be where it says more. There are like four horizontal dots. And you can click it, and then chat should be the very first option for you.
And you want my name and what?
Yes, ma'am. Your name and any organization that you're affiliated with, as well as your email.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm. So it is 6:01, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to again give just a few more minutes for everyone to kind of make their transitions. I know a lot of people are kind of en route from work to home and just wanted to make certain to give a little bit of time for those that are wanting to hop on with us. I know that the weather here is a little dreary today, so it may be a few connectivity delays, but just wanted to be considerate and make certain that we have as many participants that desire to be with us. And we have another guest that has joined us. Is that Takari? Hello, Takari.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
Hello,
Hey,
how are you? Welcome,
I'm good. How
welcome
are
to
you?
Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion with the Master Class with Miss Brenda Wimberly this evening. We're so happy to have you. If you will you take a moment to sign in for us just in the chat box? If you could put your name, if
Um,
you are affiliated with a university or an organization, as well as your email address for us.
okay. What all did you say I had to fill out again? I
So
mean,
that's
put in
okay. I
here.
need your name. Are you with
Yes,
a university, Takari?
yes. I'm with Grambling State's Choir.
Awesome, awesome. If you could just put in Grambling State University as well as your email address.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We want to make certain that you get all of our university students certainly get participation credit and recognition for attendance. We just want to make certain that we have everyone's contact information because it's important for all of our attendees. Ms. Dorsey, Mr. Joseph, as well as you and any of the others that are joining us. We want to get your input on this evening's masterclass as well. So you will be receiving a survey link. I'm going to mention it a little bit later, but just wanting to give, since you're early, just get a little heads up to get some of your information before we get started because you all are certainly in for a treat. Joseph, Takari, Miss Dorsey, feel free to message some friends to invite them to join us for this evening as well. The more, the merrier. I think they will certainly enjoy this evening's masterclass. So just wanted to put in a little plug for our masterclass this evening. Please feel free to invite others. Thank you. I was loving that music, Miss Brenda.
I wanted to use it while I
Are
talk
you going
about,
to use it later? Okay,
I'm
okay.
going to use it for the spirit when I talk about the spiritual.
Gotcha, gotcha. Is that Sheena? Takari, is that you? No, let me see. We may have some. Oh, we have a few more. Hello, Dr. McCrae. And Sheena, hello. Is that we have some Brandon. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Hey,
to
hello. This
our
evening.
master class this evening. While we are waiting, if you could please, if you haven't already done so, please put in the chat box your name, your university or organization affiliation, as well as your email address. Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Elizabeth. Thank you, Sheena. Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Danny? Okay. So if everyone could be certain to put in your information for sign in. And ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:06 and I say, Miss Brenda, are we ready to get started?
Yes, we are.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, welcome again, everyone. So happy to have each of you here this evening for the phenomenal experience that you'll have with SUSLA and GSU Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion. And so for this evening, you are going to have the pleasure of experiencing a master class by none other than Miss Brenda Wimberly. And this evening's session is entitled A Story of the Negro Spiritual. The Negro Spiritual meets Aaron Douglas. And so before we get started, I want to have Rachel to put in our chat box the survey link for this evening. We would like for you to complete this survey at the conclusion of our masterclass because your input is very important in making certain that we are improving as we go, and we want to hear from you. We want to know your feedback and have your feedback, as this is a landmark experience where Southern University at Shreveport and Grambling State University are coming together, celebrating the artists across performing arts, visual arts, and we want to make this first time the best time. So your input matters. At this time, if you will, we would like to ask if you could please put your speakers on mute, but leave your camera on for just a moment as you will receive additional instructions. So everyone has pretty much, I've welcomed everyone, but if you will, we would like to invite our guests for just a moment. If each of you could introduce yourself to us, as well as our guest speaker, Miss Brenda Wimberly. And share with us the school that you attend or the organization that you're affiliated with. So who would like to go first? And I'll just come down the line. Let's see. Miss Dorsey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening. I'm Gwendolyn Dorsey. I'm a member of the Houston Ebony Opera Guild in Houston, Texas.
Thank you so very much for being with us this evening. Joseph, will you introduce yourself? Joseph? You're on mute.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Will you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Joseph Papio. I'm a freshman at Grambling State University, and I'm in the university choir. My major is child development and early literacy with a minor in music.
Thank you so very much. Dr. McCrae, could you introduce yourself for the group?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Lonnie McCrae. I'm Dean of Arts, Humanities, Social Science, and Education at Southern University at Shreveport. I'm also part of the management team helping to bring these Zoom classes to our community.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we have here next, Sheena, would you like to introduce yourself? Am I pronouncing your name correct?
It's Shanae.
Shanae, hello,
Yes,
thank you.
Hi, I am a freshman also at Grambling State University. I'm in the choir, so yeah.
Awesome, thank you so very much. I'm trying to make sure that I got everyone here. Let's see. That was Shanae. Joseph is already introduced. Is that Shabazz? Is that, I don't want to slaughter the first name. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, hi, yes, my name is Faraji Shabazz.
Hello, Faraji.
Hello.
Will you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit, tell us the university or organization that you're affiliated with.
I go to Grambling State University and I'm in the concert choir.
Thank you. So glad to have you, Faraji.
Thank you.
Okay, Takari.
Hey, I'm Takari Turner. I'm from Grambling State University's concert choir, and I'm a freshman.
All right, thank you so very much. So glad to have you as well. Okay, Pam, are you with us?
Sometimes I'm here. Sorry about that. What a joy to see everybody. Thrilling evening. Pam with the Shreveport Regional Arts Council. We're very excited about tonight's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. So happy to have you on. Let's see. Is that Miss Johnson? Want to make certain I don't want to slaughter your first name. Is that LaAsia? LaAsia? Miss Johnson? Would you like
Yes,
to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Alasia Johnson and I attend Grambling State University.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. Brandon, so glad to see you. So glad to have you with us. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Good to be here. I'm Brandon Christ, an artist and writer in town, and love music, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Not currently enrolled in any college or anything, just here to learn.
We are certainly happy to have you here with us this evening, Brandon. Let's see, we have Elizabeth. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, we're going to go on to, is that Jade? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, my name is Jade Pickett. I'm enrolled in Grambling State University Concert Choir. I am a junior. My major is psychology, and I'm minoring in music.
Thank you so very much. Okay, Elizabeth, I saw you unmuting. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, we're going to keep going. I see the name listed, not Felicia or not Felicia. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, good day. It's Philsha. I'm Philsha Pendang. I am at Grambling State University. Hi, Miss Davis. Grambling State University. I am a sophomore at Graham, and I am a part of the Grambling State University Choir.
Okay, is it Philsha?
Yep, it's Philsha.
Philsha, so happy to have you. Thank you. Is that Sonia or Sonia? Sonja?
It's Sonja.
Sonja, hello. Would you introduce yourself for us, please?
Sure. My name is Sonja Lee Freeman. I am alumni of Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas. And I wanted to join on because I saw that my fellow alumna is on. I was a student of Dr. Ruby Hebert, and I met her years ago, so I'm sure Brenda probably doesn't remember me. But I wanted to get on and just show some love to fellow PVite. And presently, I'm an executive MBA student at Prairie View now in my 3rd semester.
Thank you so very much. We're so happy to have you. And thank you for coming on to show some love to Miss Wimberly this evening. Thank you. Is that Shakira? Would you introduce yourself?
It's Shakira Wickham.
Hello, Shakira.
Hello. I'm a Grambling Concert Choir.
Thank you, Shakira. So happy to have you. And last but not least, is that Jones is the last name? Is that Aaron? Arian Jones? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Ariane Jones. I'm part of the Grambling State University Concert Choir. Was that all?
Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. We're so happy to have you. I must say that Grambling State University is representing this evening. Miss Davis certainly got the word out, and we're so glad that each of you are here with us this evening. So at this time, if you will, please be sure to mute your mics. And at this time, you can turn your cameras off so we can be mindful of our bandwidth as we go through this evening's masterclass. And I'd like to introduce myself. I am Angelique Feaster Evans. I am a part of the management team for the Homecoming 2020 Artists Reunion Celebration of Southern University at Shreveport and Grambling State University. And it is my pleasure as well as an honor for me to be the host for pretty much all, I think, except for 1 or 2 master classes for Miss Brenda Wimberly this evening. And we just want to also remind you of a few dates that we want you to be certain to kind of plug into your calendar. And that is, the first is the date of the exhibition. There will be a visual arts exhibition that's a part of our Homecoming 2020 celebration that will be opening on Friday, October the 23rd here in Shreveport at Art Space. And then the second date that I want to make certain that you plug into your calendar is the date of our virtual performance showcase. And this will be a celebration including many of our performing artists from both campus or both universities, should I say. And it will be a virtual experience that will debut on Saturday, October the 24th. Also, we want to share, if you are an artist alumni of either Southern University at Shreveport or Grambling State University, we need you. Be sure to introduce yourself in the Zoom chat, put your name, stating what university you are affiliated with or graduated from, as well as an email address, and we'll be certain to get in contact with you. At this time, we'd like to open it up for any announcements that are related to Southern University at Shreveport or Grambling State University, or any other campus events that anyone would like to share before we get started? Okay, if you would prefer or something comes up, feel free to drop that announcement in our chat box. Also, I want to share that this masterclass is truly a full experience. You're going to learn so much from Miss Brenda Wimberly this evening, but there will be a break in between. Around 6:45, we will take a break, either plus or minus a few minutes, but we will certainly make certain to have a little pause so we could go and have a little break time before we get started to the second part of this evening. So at this time, we want to kick off with a homecoming introductory video that will play for your entertainment pleasure. Thank you.
Music.
Okay, everyone, I believe that was the end of our introductory video. Just wanting to give some highlights of the past as well as the present of both Southern University at Shreveport and Grambling State University. For those of you who are just hopping on, we want to welcome you to our Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion, celebrating the rich artistic heritage and legacy of both universities at Southern University at Shreveport and Grambling State University. And also, I want to remind everyone to please complete the survey chat box. So we want to make certain to get your input before the evening. So I just reposted the survey link. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenting artist for this evening, Miss Brenda Wimberly, our music masterclass artist. Brenda's musical studies training at the Merlot Young Artist Opera program at San Francisco Opera, the Young Artist program at Metropolitan Opera, and the American Institute of Musical Studies at Graz, Austria prepared her for the classical stage. Brenda's extensive repertoire spans opera, oratorio, musical theater, jazz, the Negro spiritual, and contemporary genres. Brenda is a freelance concert artist with solo performances in more than 35 states, as well as in West Germany, Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, and South Africa. Brenda is the opera's first recipient of the Leontine Prize Award. She is also considered a Texas State Treasure and a Shreveport Regional Arts Council Fellowship winner, and a renowned recent partner performer with internationally renowned artist Nick Cave. Brenda will present 6 master classes exploring music and music divas from classical to Negro spirituals to opera, pop culture, rap, and Broadway. But this evening, we are in for a treat as she will present a story of the Negro spiritual. The Negro spiritual meets Aaron Douglas. So without further ado, I present to you our masterclass artist for this evening, Miss Brenda Wimberly. Miss Brenda, unmute, please.
Well, let me try that again. I was on mute. It's so wonderful to see everyone here tonight. I'm so happy that you can spend this time with me as I present my second series, my second session of the 6 series that I'm going to share. Tonight is very special to me because I show the beginning at Southern University. This is actually where I actually was exposed to formerly the Negro spirituals. I had no former choral training before I entered Southern University. I did play the violin from the 6th grade to the 11th grade in high school, but choral music I was introduced to by Mr. Wiggins. And this wonderful music that I hope to share with you tonight is something that is so dear to me. And actually, he introduced it to me. But when I entered Prairie View A&M University, Dr. Robert Henry introduced me to so many different styles of spirituals by so many different composers. I even had the opportunity to meet William Dawson, who actually would come when there used to be choir festivals at Prairie View, and he was a facilitator one year. So it's just those kinds of experiences that that makes me feel so proud to have this music and to be able to share the music of our people. I'm going to tell you a little story, and before I get into my presentation, the story of the Negro spiritual. Of course, you know, it was born out of a dreadful voyage for many Africans who came to this country from other countries and great kingdoms like Benin and Dahomey, Ghana, Angola, and Nigeria, Africa, to name a few. That journey to America more than 400 years ago to the shores of Jamestown, Virginia. A voyage better known as the transatlantic slave trade. They came, but they were stripped of their dignity, of their language, their identity, stripped of their customs and their culture. There were some things that the African brought with them. Some of the vegetables that we actually enjoy today, like the collard greens, and their innate skills to build and design, their dance, their music, their innate skill to build, and that music and their songs, they all brought those things with them. Singing was their way of communicating, since the oppressors, of course, that had taken away that glorious communication tool, the drum. So although they couldn't read or write, they memorized biblical stories they heard and translated them into songs from the Old and the New Testament, and gave life to Jesus, to God, to Mary, and to that old devil himself. Born out of the need to express innermost feelings of sorrow, of joy, pain, inspiration, and yes, hope for a better place. These songs have been passed down from generations, and more popularized by the Fisk Jubilee Singers around 1870, traveling all around this country and Europe to now a new global appeal that single-handedly was revolutionized by the late Moses Hogan. Today, housed at the Library of Congress, there's more than 6,000 spirituals, manuscripts that have survived slavery. And because of the oral tradition of the slaves who were prohibited to read or write, that meant that the actual number is really more than 6,000 because they were anonymous and they were passed down. But today, there's a new generation of composers, arrangers, instrumentalists, and vocalists to carry that torch, to perpetuate, to preserve, and perform some of the most glorious religious folk songs that are now performed all around this world by all ethnic groups. And this is a national treasure of America. Now, before I get into my presentation, I just wanted to just share with you some of the styles, some of the different types of spirituals that was passed down. There was, they call it the field holler. And what the slave would do was to carry that voice, hello, woo, out in the field. They would make these kinds of hollers and sounds to say something was wrong, or they needed water, or someone needed help, but that's the way in which they communicated. There was another type of song that could be heard, and it actually had two different meanings. Those songs contained messages of secret meetings and giving directions on how to escape and follow the North Star so that the dogs wouldn't get off your trail. You'd hear a song like, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Now that song meant that jump into that river so those dogs would not get on your trail. They could not smell if you jump into the water. That's why they sang wade in the water. It wasn't just because of being baptized when it was their day in which they could actually do the baptism of the slaves. No, they wanted to escape. So the slave owners would not know. And so they would be singing those songs. And there's another song they used to sing. One of the songs that directly was referred to Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, and which helped slaves escape to the North and to freedom. The old master would hear, because they love these songs, they love them. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. But that was not what they were saying. You had to listen. Swing low, sweet Harriet, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet Harriet, coming for to carry me home. Oh, old master just be sitting up there and just rocking and shaking his head and just enjoying the music. And they were that they were telling the slaves that somebody was going to win their freedom. They were going to the north. Harriet Tubman was going to take them on that underground railroad to freedom. It's amazing. They were very ingenious. And there was also the old protest song. The slave owners did not like for them to sing those protest songs because they always would get into a revolt. There would be an uprising when they would hear a song from the Old Testament that stories like Daniel and Samson and Moses, they could not take that. So they would stop them from singing, go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell, oh Pharaoh, to let my people go. They would sing that, and the slave owners could not take those types of songs, and they forbid them from singing them. Those are just some of the songs that our ancestors had within them that they created from a need to express. And there is one, I always like to do this because we have to give Mahalia Jackson, give her, we must give a tribute to her. She was a New Orleans native. She's a native daughter. And so in her interpretations of the spirituals were just unreal. But I'm going to attempt to do one before we take this break. I love Didn't It Rain? Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain? And you clap your hands. She would clap her hands. They didn't like that, but she would do it anyway. Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain? Well, it rained 40 days, 40 nights without stopping. Noah was bad when the rain stopped dropping. A knock on the window, a knock on the door. Turn, brother Noah, can you take one more? Noah said, no, you're full of sin. God's got the key and you can't get it. Oh, listen to the rain, listen to the rain, listen to the rain. Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long, didn't it? Didn't it? Oh, my Lord, didn't it rain? Oh my God, we have to give our native sister, daughter, her due and keep those songs alive. Those songs were some of the most inspirational songs. The way that she would interpret the spiritual was unbelievable. Now we do have to take a slight break. And when we come back, I will present my presentation on the Negro spiritual meets Aaron Douglas. And so I give it back to Miss Feaster Evans.
Thank you so very much, Miss Brenda. Y'all, let's send some virtual love to Miss Brenda for the first half of our session this evening. Miss Brenda, I think there's Monica that's on, that's waving at you.
Oh,
yeah. That's here this evening with you. And we want to welcome those that have joined us since we started. Thank you so very much for hopping on for the wonderful masterclass with Miss Brenda Wimberly. If you haven't already done so, before you go into the break, please go into the chat and place your name as well as the organization that you're affiliated with or university and your email address. We are going to take a quick break It is 6:43, and we will be back on at 6:53 to finish with the second half of the phenomenal master class with Miss Brenda Wimberly. So at this time, if you could just stay on, don't leave the group, just stay on, but keep your mic on mute. And if you can, please turn off your video so that we can save bandwidth. Thank you.
Didn't it rain? Wait a minute, I gotta mute this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to week two of the Masterclass series with Brenda Wimberly. That's part of the HBCU Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion, celebrating the rich traditions of art and creativity at Southern University at Shreveport and Grambling State University. Before we go into our second part of this evening's masterclass, I want to invite each of you to leave a question or a comment for Miss Brenda. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the evening and wanted to make certain that if you have a question for Miss Brenda, if you could start in the chat box by placing a capital Q, then a dash, and then your question, and that way we can readily identify your questions. If you have a comment for Miss Brenda, if you could start with a capital C and a dash, and then leave your comment, as we will be sharing near the 5 minute mark at the end of our evening this together. So 5 to 10 minutes before we wrap. We want to make certain to get in any pressing questions or comments that you may have for Ms. Wimberly. So again, if you haven't already done so, please be sure to complete the link, complete the survey. I'm going to drop the link back in the chat box for everyone just to make certain that you have it, because your input is very important to this process and this landmark experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for being with us this evening. And without further ado, we're going to pick back up with part two of this evening's masterclass with Miss Brenda Wimberly. Miss Wimberly, are you ready? We're going to unmute yourself. I got your back, Miss Brenda. I got you. There we go. So, hello, Mr. Moss. So glad to have you with us this evening. And welcome everyone else for being a part of our masterclass series. So, Miss Brenda, if you could just kind of give us a lead in to what part two is about for this evening.
Okay. I would like to tell the story of the spiritual through the guise of Aaron Douglas, who was a prolific, wonderful Harlem Renaissance artist. He was known as the father of African American art. He was born in 1899 in Topeka, Kansas. He was educated in public schools there and received his BFA from the University of Nebraska and Lincoln, and his advanced studies at the Teacher College at Columbia University. The Harlem Renaissance, and I have here more information on Mr. Douglas. Take a little while and just take it. Okay. That's fine. I'd like you to know that he was a featured illustrator in The Opportunity and The Crisis, which were two landmark magazines during the Harlem Renaissance period. And his contemporaries included Alain Locke and W.E.B. Du Bois and Langston Hughes. Now, the Harlem Renaissance was an intellectual, social, and cultural movement of artists, painters, writers, musicians, and performers that worked at reconceptualizing the life and dispel those stereotypes that African Americans had endured centuries of slavery. Aaron Douglas had a way of reclaiming the history of Africa and telling the story of the struggle of the millions of Africans that survived that journey that was called the Middle Passage. What does the pictures reveal about Black life? If you can go back to the first slide, Rachel, of the pyramids, the Sphinx, the very first slide, if you can. This very first slide will tell you just how his thought process was. He actually was taking the past and bringing it to the future. He was taking Africa and bringing it to America. And so, that was what's so wonderful about him. And that's what I was inspired about, because of the way that he actually used his blood memory of his ancestors from Africa. And he displayed those in his paintings. What did the pictures reveal about the Black life? What messages were behind the heroes in the biblical images? His music was twofold. He looked at the biblical history and the social aspects of Negro life that the Africans brought to America through the slave trade and the struggle for their freedom. He searched for the innermost of Blackness through his art. And I have infused several religious folk songs of sorrow, of protest, hope, and aspiration. Hear my voice try to convey the messages. Now, this is a live performance that I actually did on Mackinac Island in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan near Saint Sue Marie, Canada. So you will hear some applause a little bit, and you will you will have some darkness. Don't be alarmed. Don't try to fix your computer. It's me, because the songs may be a little longer than the number of slides that I have. Now we can go to the first spiritual, which is a sorrow song.
Why come me, Lord? Why come me here, Lord? Why come me here? I wish I'd never been born. They treat me mean down here, Lord. They treat me mean down here, Lord. They treat me mean down here, Lord. I wish I'd never been born. They stole my children from me, Lord. They stole my children from me, Lord. They stole my children from me, Lord. I wish I'd never been born. Why come me? I wish I'd never been born. I wish I'd never been born. I wish I'd never been born.
Now, that was a sorrow song. And that song is a song that was poured out the the feelings of the slave, the sorrow, the yearnings, the deepest prayers, the complaints, and the desperation of being in such a cruel place, and things of sorrow that they introspectively thought about. The next spiritual that I'm going to, that I prepared for you is a jubilee. And it's not really, well, it's a jubilee because it's upbeat, and it's also, and it also deals with spirituality. You know, we just, my soul's been anchored in the Lord. And the Lord, before I'd stay in hell one day, my soul's been anchored in the Lord. So this comes to life. And I'm being actually assisted with Dr. Willis Patterson and the Our Own Thing Chorale from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I attended the University of Michigan, and he was the conductor. So now we will hear My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord. Okay, that was a jubilee, and actually how their search for repose and wanting to be whole. And so they wrote those songs like My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord to help them to realize that doesn't matter what I'm going through, I know that He's with me. I know that. Those kinds of inspirational songs in which they actually sang. Now the next song that I'm going to do that I have prepared for you is a protest song. Many of those songs were taken from the Old Testament, and like I said, stories like Moses and Samuel and Samson and others that expressed the sufferings of slavery and drew comparison between the plight of the slaves. So look at some of the images, how he's in the past, but he's looking towards the future. Make sure you recognize some of that in some of the slides that we're about to show you right now. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? If you notice in those images, there are about 3 different heroes in which Mr. Douglas drew upon. There was Moses in the Red Sea. There was Gabriel blowing his horn. And I thought that Noah's Ark was in those 4 slides. Perhaps not. But those were those biblical stories in which came to life. Now the next piece that you're going to hear is very introspective again. It's slow, and it's not sorrowful. It's looking for a better day. Fix me for my journey home. It's a better place in which I'm preparing to go. There is eternal life, and it's much better than this life that I am experiencing here. So I'd like for you to listen to Fix Me, and make sure you pay attention to the images, because I want you to actually see the levitating of one of the slaves, who is actually levitating into the sky and going towards heaven. Now, I want to make sure you see that. Okay, Fix Me. This is the next. I can't hear it. All right, have a little difficult. There you go. That was not a sorrow song. I know it sounds like it, but it was just, it's one of those songs that touches you in a way that you do cry, but not out of sorrow. It's out of you, your yearning. It was a yearning song. And you may feel a little, this particular song, which we do consider, we consider it a jubilee, but it's a slow. And the last of the 5 spirituals that I'm going to sing, that I will play for you, is He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. This is a Margaret Bonds arrangement. And so He has you, me, He has everybody in His hands. That's what the slaves were, what they felt good about is that they knew that they were not alone, that the Lord did have them in His hands. So this is the last piece. He's got the whole world in his hands. That was the last of my presentation on the Negro Spiritual meets Aaron Douglas. Again, I say, the reason why I drew inspiration from Mr. Douglass is because he didn't just take a look at the plantation life of the slave. He actually brought his ancestry to the plantation, and you could actually see that in his paintings. The idea of the images of Africa, of people, of his people working, of his people praising, of his people in sorrow, but it was the African that you actually saw doing these things. And as the African evolved, and of course, as the African evolved, he still could not, he was forced to not to read and write. So the dialect that is used in some of the spirituals only give it gives it a flavor. That's what I like to say when we use Lord instead of Lord. It's just that it doesn't do what we need it to do if we don't say Lord. Lord have mercy instead of Lord have mercy. That is the proper way. And a lot of the now arranged spirituals use the English in the correct way. But in a lot of the spirituals, especially Edward Boltner, if any of you students who are studying these spirituals, Mr. Boltner made sure in his anthology, he specifically wanted you to use the dialect because it gave the meaning, meant more with the broken English of our ancestors. And that's why they did that. But I have one more song that I'd like to do for my virtual family here. And it's one that I may have to stand up or move away because I'm gonna try not to sing. I still have my money notes. So, you know, that high D that at the end of he's got the whole world in his hands, I still can do it. I'm just amazed. But this is one of those spirituals that is introspective. It's quiet, and it tells you when I rise, give me Jesus. I'm going to lower it because I believe in, I want you to put this in the chat room, students. Wouldn't you rather have me do this live? I would rather have a live performance, but since the pandemic and we have to do it this way, I'm having to share with you some of my spirituals that I have performed. I see yes. So yes. So I'm going to do this spiritual. This is one of my favorites, and it's quiet. Oh, when I come to die. And this is a song of yearning again. Yes, it will make you cry. You might tear, but it's of joy when you think about it. It's tears of joy. Oh, when I come to die. Oh, when I come to die. Oh, when I come to die. Give me Jesus. die. Oh, when I come to die. Oh, when I come to die, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You may have all this world. Give me Jesus. Oh, when I come to die. Oh, when I come to die. Oh, when I come to die. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. He may have all this world. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Nobody but Jesus. You may have all this world. Give me Okay, that's one of my favorites. Now, I am a few minutes early, but I have finished my presentation on the Negro spiritual meet Aaron Douglas. And I would like for Miss Feaster to come back and
You know that's one of my favorites.
Didn't know that.
Oh my God.
So we're ready to take some questions or some expressions, because I did see one of the students say, yes, I want a live performance.
Absolutely. You certainly have some comments that we're going to share. We do have a question.
Yes.
Jade Pickett. And the question for you, Miss Brenda, is when you first began performing professionally as a singer, was it difficult to book gigs?
Yes. Well, at first, but let me tell you, I've been a concert artist, a freelance concert artist for a long time. But when I first started this, I did have representation. I was on the West Coast, and I had a wonderful manager out of La Jolla. So I sang all over the place, and I had gigs all the time. But I am now in the zenith of my career, and so I don't have that representation. Let me tell you, young people, those of you who really want to step outside the box and pursue, be it classical, jazz, whatever, if you can get representation, it's going to help you a lot, because you do not have to, with representation, you don't have to worry about you being paid what you should be paid, because they will interpret that for you. You don't have to feel bad about how much you charge for what it is that you do and which you have trained and you worked hard to actually accomplish. So for those of you who are really interested, representation is very, very, very important, that you have someone to speak on your behalf and also find those gigs for you. Now, if you are someone like me who love to take that risk and put yourself out there, when I was a young singer and was trying to get that trying to make a name, I would do my own publicity. I would send out my cards and my portfolio to different agents, not agents, but different like symphony orchestras, because that's what I love. I love performing with orchestra. I love the idea of me walking out in my garb and sing over that orchestra, take my bow and walk off the stage. That is me. We didn't talk about, now we was talking about spiritual, we're talking about spirituals tonight, and you got me wanting to talk about opera. That's another series that you need to come back. But representation is very, very important. And if you are, and if you feel good about yourself and you know that you can do what you do, then you do that for yourself. Get that representation. Okay.
Thank you so much, Miss Brenda. While we do have another question to kind of piggyback off of that initial question, but I want to invite everyone that's on, if you have questions for Miss Brenda, please just drop it into the chat using the capital Q dash and then your question. So Q, then dash and your question so that we can readily identify your questions. And if you have comments from tonight's workshop that you'd like to share, have a capital C and a dash and leave your comments. But Ms. Brenda, representation we know is very important for performing artists. And I can attest to what you've been sharing as an actress, that representation, it matters. And
yes, it matters.
It's very beneficial. But we have another question to kind of tie into that from Ms. Freeman. And the question is, how do you get representation? So could you just kind of share your process starting out? I know there may be some, changes as the years go by, but can you just kind of give a little snapshot of how that process of seeking representation can
be? It depends. If this young singer, if she is classically, wanting to do classical music, there is a book that you need to have. Any of you, all of you. It's called Musical America. It has all of the representation, people who are representatives of singers, and also competitions and international and national competitions and scholarships and those kinds of things. It's called Musical America, and it's still very much, it's very relevant right today. And young singers really need to get that. And I must say too, if you know that you love to sing and you put all into it, there are scholarships still out there for young, not just singers, but for people in theater arts and musical arts, all of the cultural, there are scholarships. And so you need to prepare yourself. For those of you who are actually wanting to do this as a career, you have to find ways in which to actually to make it happen, because all of us not born with ready and ready financial support and encouragement. So we have to find ways in which to make those things happen for us. But I want you to know that there are still people out here who want nothing more than, if you are committed to what it is that you do, they will support you. But you have to tell them. You have to be in the environment where there are people who will help you, because there's still people who will, and they want nothing from you but the best. You don't have to call them every week or, or that kind of thing. So those things are very important. And yes, there's money that you can actually be supporting yourself with. I'm going to say, as a young singer, when I was a young singer, I mean, that's all I did was sing. I did not have any other kind of job. And if I needed extra money, then I would do this thing that they have them here, temp. I would temp. And I would temp for creative venues. So, because those are the ones, it is location. So some places don't have those things readily. If they don't have them, then you go where they are, if you really want to do what it is that you want to do. And I'm telling you, we need young people in the performing and visual arts. We need you to keep this wonderful history, this rich history that we have brought, the creativity, the creativeness among some of you. I'm looking at you visually, but some of you, I know that there are jewels that need to be tapped. And I want you have to kind of like feel it yourself. You know you're special. You know there's something. Nobody else can explain it to you, but you know that there is something. So you tap into that. You tap into your passion, yes, and make it work for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Brenda, I want to ask just some specifics regarding representation. Can you hear me? Can you
I hear you.
Okay, so just so that some of our students or those that are, working professionals that want to know, as it relates to representation, part of that submission process, did you do headshot, a demo reel? What was that you sent to those various?
Well, when I did my I'll tell you, when I did my it's different now. You young people have totally different than what I had, but I had a headshot. I had my bio vita of the things that I have performed.
So your resume.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and your resume. Your performance is two different things. You can have a resume and a performance bio vita. So that's they can see what you have performed at a bird's eye view, and also a sampling of my voice. Mm-hmm. Okay, those are the things that you have in your portfolio. But now they want you to send it in the cloud, but it's the same things.
Right.
The headshot, the resume, samplings of your voice, yes, or your instrument, and those are the key things that must be in that portfolio.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we left them with those very specifics.
Oh yes.
Start working on. There's one other question. Are there opportunities for those of us who have been out of school for years to sing classical? I would love to get back into it one day. And then they left the comment saying that right now they're singing R&B, soul, and cabaret. So are there opportunities for those that would like to get back into classical singing but are out of school?
Oh yes, I mean it depends on your tenacity and how much you want it. But and if you are willing to study the bel canto, you know, uh, the beautiful singing style that we use. But there's lots of community things, lots of community theater, and if you're in I don't know where you are, but they may have a symphony there, or they may have an opera company there, or a community choir, something, semi-professional, a semi-professional organization. Yes, if you desire to do that and you put forth your best effort, you will be successful.
Right. And so they're in the
You're never too old. You're never too old. I've always, this is what I say about, this is what Miss Brenda says about herself. I am a lyric spinto soprano. And when I can't hit my money notes, that's those C's and those high D's. I'm gonna lower it and I'm gonna start singing music for mezzos. I'm gonna stay relevant.
Absolutely. So the opportunity sometimes is about creating the opportunities as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And so those comments and questions, we want to thank Ms. Freeman for sharing those your questions and comments. And she is from the Houston area. And so thank you. So that book, that publication, American Musical?
It's Musical America.
Musical America. And do they have listings for opportunities in that publication?
They do. They do.
So they can get representation,
yes,
as well as performance opportunities information.
Yes.
Publication called Musical America. We need to check that out. So for those of you that are interested, especially in the opportunities that may be available, as well as representation. Okay, so we are at the close of our time together. I want to just drop the link. Be sure to, if you haven't already done so, visit the link that I just posted in the chat to complete your surveys. Also, for those of you that may have logged on after we got started or near midway, be sure to leave your name, the university or organization that you're affiliated with, as well as your email address. And I wanted to share our upcoming classes and artist residencies that are coming up that we certainly would love to have you to be a part of. On tomorrow, we have visual arts workshop with Eric Francis, as well as performing arts workshops with Rashonda D. Spears. Eric will be painting and drawing, framing the subject for visual art, and our performing arts workshop is going to be Why We Dance, the history of West African dance. And then we'll be back on Monday. All of the programs start from 6 to 7:30. We'll have our masterclass with Brent Ladden, Writing and Understanding the Vision, as well as a masterclass with Dr. Sharon F. Green, How Musical Choices Affect and Impact Film. And we will have also a part of that workshop. One of the featured guests will be Ms. Christina Bell, who was featured in the Clark Sisters, the Lifetime television show Clark Sisters movie and she played Twinkie Clark. So we certainly would love for you all to come and join us for the upcoming series, but we will be back here on next Wednesday for session 3 of the Masterclass series with Ms. Brenda Wimberly. And we will have as a topic, the bridge to enhancing education through the performing and visual arts, the impact it has on students and communities. We're so very happy to have all of you on, Ms. Wimberly. There have been some wonderful comments. Thank you. Fantastic. This was wonderful. I'm so glad one of our pageant sisters recommended this workshop. So there's so many comments that are in the chat. Ms. Brenda, want to invite you to go and check them out. Thank you all so very much for joining us this evening. I am Angelique Feaster Evans, and we want you to go in love, go in peace, and have a blessed and beautiful evening. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat station. Bye. Thank you.